One day I get on the scale, I see 200 pounds. I truly hated myself. Alright guys, so this topic's been kind of tough for me to talk about. It's something that, you know, I thought like it doesn't affect me, but once I started doing this, I realized it did, and it does. And like, you know, you try and pretend like stuff doesn't, but it really does. In the back of your mind, you still have thoughts and things that you think about constantly. You can just speak from the heart from my experience. You know, I'm not a specialist in this field. I'm not a health guru in any way. This is just my story and what worked for me. This was me 2 years ago. I honestly, I didn't even realize how big I was getting until I was already there. It's mind-blowing because like day by day you're like, oh, okay, not like I'm just the same as I was yesterday, but you look back at a couple pictures and you're 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds heavier, and you're just like when did this happen? I became this fat blob. I became this giant balloon, and I didn't even notice. And one day I get on the scale, I see 200 pounds, and I was like, what the f? At that time, I truly hated myself. To get a little quick background, my entire life growing up, I was the skinniest kid. Like, I remember I started grade 9 at 115 pounds. You could always see my ribs. I was like the skinniest kid. And that was always in the back of my head, because I'd always be at like family gatherings and stuff, and people would rip on me about like just being so skinny. I just wanted to gain weight and look like, you know, like normal, like, if there even is such a thing. Looking in the mirror every single day, I would look at myself and I would immediately like look down. I couldn't look in the mirror because I just hated what was looking back at me. And that wasn't just how skinny I was. That was a part of it. There's a bunch of different things that added to the mental health aspect. It just stuck in my head that I wasn't who I wanted to be, and that made me so utterly depressed. Just that I wasn't what I saw in here, what I believed I could be, wasn't reality in real life. It literally kept me from doing what I wanted, from being who I wanted. Like I would go out, I would be excited, I would go out with friends, see myself in a reflection or something, and be like, God, I hate this, and like all enthusiasm just like left. I finished high school. I'm 5'10", 135, 140 pounds maybe at the end of grade 12, and no idea what to do with life or anything. So I'm just like, I go get a 9-to-5 job, and I just absolutely hate it. Mental health gets even worse and worse. And after that, I started going to the gym. I gained a bit of weight slowly. And I remember I got to like 160 pounds. It was the first time where like I looked at myself body-wise, and I was like, you know what? I don't hate what's reflecting in me. And it gave me confidence. Of course, you still have all those things in the back of your head that you're like, you know, you've kept for so long. It's like, oh, you've been like this? Oh, even though you're better now, it's like there's always a voice inside you saying, oh, well, this is how it was. And you're still that person, even though you really aren't. Having mental health and dealing with that, you know, was given pills, and these pills also, what they did was it made me gain weight, which also wasn't enjoyable, because now I'm like 200 pounds of this flubber that I fucking hate, that I despise myself as. One of my best friends came up to me. He's like, yo, mate, you got a double chin, man. You're fat as f. And I'm like, nah, like still not believing it. So immediately, what do? Go into the washroom, you know, start looking in the mirror. I'm like, damn, I got a double chin. I didn't hate him. I love this guy. I love this human being. He knows who he is, and I'm thankful for that, because to me, he was willing to say something to me which could hurt my feelings, but in reality, I needed to know. And I think it was at that point when someone actually told me this, when I was like, okay, I decided, you know, like I have to make a change, because this version of myself is not what I want to be. And I'm trying different things, you know, trying to change what I eat. I literally went vegetarian. I was almost vegan. I had this idea, let's go see a naturopath. This naturopath explains to me gut health and sugar levels. What she told me was, we're going to rebuild or create a diet for you that's going to work for you, or we're going to try it, see how it works, and if it doesn't, then we're going to try and modify a couple things. And that's the thing that I want to stress, is that it's not going to work on the first time. If it does, fucking great, but if it doesn't mean it's over. It just means that attempt didn't work. Let's try again. Meet naturopath. Naturopath says we're going to cut out 3 things: sugar, dairy, and grain. This was, at first it was difficult, because just the thought of not being able to eat the things that I truly enjoy. I love chocolate, I love dairy, cheese and everything. But you know what? What was important to me was that I wanted this result more than I wanted that instant gratification of the sweets or the whatever. I just went cold turkey. I cut off sugar, dairy, and grain, and I didn't have anything that had sugar, dairy, or grain in it for probably a year and a half. I went from 200 pounds down to 150, and it took me, I actually lost about 20 to 30 pounds very quickly. Just eliminating these foods from my life transformed my life and made me feel a lot healthier and more natural in the skin that I was in. The rest of the weight slowly came out after and after. The person that you have right here inside your head that you want to be, that person is there, and you can get to that stage if you want. Throughout this adventure of yours, whatever it is, whether it's weight, whether it's mental health, whether it's, you know, money, whether it's whatever goal you have that you set for yourself, give yourself enough time to get there, because if you don't, you're not setting yourself up for success. You're going to fall, and then when you fall, you're going to be like, damn, this doesn't work, oh, this is crap, blah, blah, blah. And of course it doesn't work, because you need time, and every single person is different. So what works for your friend might not work for you, and vice versa. So that's why if something doesn't work, it's okay to leave it, but give yourself an ample amount of time to try out and see if it works, and then move on to the next step, whatever that may be. If after a while you still aren't seeing results, you know what? Go find another specialist or someone else. Go try a couple other things. But the options and the answers are out there for you to achieve literally whatever. For me, this was something that I needed to do to feel happy. I know a lot of people will say, oh, but you should love yourself in the body that you're in. And that's cool, sure. But for me, I saw it as, you know, I'm throwing all this stuff into my body that wasn't really healthy. All this excessive amounts of sugar, excessive amounts of processed foods, and all these other things that weren't healthy for my body. And because of it, I turned into who I was, or I gained the weight that I did. When someone says, well, shouldn't you love yourself at that point? You should always try and love yourself. But I think sometimes we use that as an excuse to look at ourselves and be like, well, you know what, let me love myself now. And when I do that, then I'm going to start working. And the thing is, we never really truly start working. You're never going to be ready to work. It's something you just have to do. You got to take that leap of faith and just do it. I saw this as, I'm 200 pounds. I'm overweight. I know that carrying this extra weight on my body is not healthy for joints. It's not healthy for my gut. It's not healthy for my organs. It's not healthy for my heart. So if I truly love myself, I want to protect myself and keep my organs and everything that is my body as healthy as possible, or give it the best chance to be as healthy as possible. That is what was love for me, was working to get that healthy. If you do have any, you know, health problems, mental health issues, or anything else that's bothering you, honestly, the best advice that I could give is that just ask for help. You are not weak. Asking for help is the strongest thing you can do, because there's people who know so much more than we do. So just use their expertise. They're out there for a reason. And I know that it's easier said than done. Going up to someone and saying, hey, there's something in my life that is causing me discomfort or that's making me unhappy. You saying that to someone is already the first step, and that takes tremendous amounts of strength. And for that, you should be proud of yourself. Everything else will come, but just take that first step and ask for help. And at the end of the day, even if someone was to say something to you, their opinion is not as important as who you are and your happiness. So your happiness is based upon you, and you're the only one who determines that. If someone else says something, all right, that's just their opinion, or they're just saying something, and I know it can hurt. But if I was to think about every time someone said something to me, I would just let them win, and I will let them basically control my life. Thank you for your time, honestly, and till next week, cheers, peace, out. Ah!